Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video is a Black Library review. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at one of the many publications brought out by Black Library and giving you our thoughts on the book, audio drama, whatever it happens to be. Now, I will say that we will try to keep this review to as spoiler free as possible, though there will obviously be points where we talk about things happening in the book. We will try to keep away from saying any of the major plot points, so you can go and read this book for yourself. We'll just give you our thoughts on whether or not we think it is something you may be interested in. So we'll use this video to instruct you on maybe is this sort of going to be a book that you would like to see. With that all said and out the way, let's get cracking on. Let's talk a little bit about the book that we have reviewed this time. In today's Black Library review, we're going to be checking out Scourge of Fate, which recently came onto audio version. As I always say, I like to listen to the audiobooks while I'm doing some other hobby or working, doing some editing work or stuff like that. But this one is written by Robbie MacNiven. Now, I remember seeing this when it first came out. I never did get to read it when it originally made its physical release. I can't remember anything I've listened to or read of recent from Robbie MacNiven, so this will be really interesting to talk about. But this is narrated by Philip Sacramento, and anyone who has seen our latest Black Library review just before this one on Outguns, Philip Sacramento is a fantastic voice to listen to. Really good audio book reader, voice actor, whatever you want to call him, and however he views himself, but really enjoyable to listen to. So with that said, first Age of Sigmar one I've done a review on in a little bit. There's not been an awful lot of Age of Sigmar stuff coming out recently, so let's get cracking on into this. And so our story, Archaon, the Ever-Chosen, is the most powerful and feared of all the great champions of the Dark Gods. Warlords of immense cruelty who have waged innumerable campaigns of suffering and slaughter thirst to fight by his side. Such knights of ruin are known as the Varangard. Though Vanek the Black Pilgrim's blade drips with the blood of conquered empires, he is yet to prove himself worthy of ascension into the ranks of the fifth circle of the Varangard. At last, though, he faces his final quest, and this is where our story will begin. He has to hunt down and slay a legendary hero of order that prophecies foretell will liberate the mortal realms when he ascends to a Stormcast Eternal's life, and break the stranglehold that chaos has within the mortal realms, and particularly around his home in the realm of Tremon, the realm of metal. Yet, however, when a betrayal strikes the very heart of the Baronspire, the great fortress of the Ever-Chosen himself, it soon becomes clear to Vanek that Sigmar's Chosen is not the only threat to Archaon's reign that he must defeat. For Vanek, there will be only victory or oblivion, for he is soon to be a Varangard, and no enemy of the Three-Eyed King will escape his blade, lest the Varanspire fall. And so what is this book's purpose? This book really does show us just how mighty those who are attempting to join the ranks of the Varangard really are. Our main character is a warlord unto his own right, controlling a horde of chaos followers, different lesser lords and everything. He is, for all intents and purposes, an army leader in his own right. It does a good job as well at showing us the deeds and quests, even though we focus upon, that main one quest at the end. The book does show us brief glimpses at the start and talks about throughout the course of the quests that he's had to complete, and just how, dangerous and how, grueling some of these quests are just to become or just to at least have the potential to maybe become one of Archaon's Varangard. Our main character is Vanek. He is the first of his people to try and ascend to the ranks of the Varangard. No one from his tribes or his sort of lands have ever become a Varangard before, and he's the first to make it this far along the path and indeed be so close to becoming a Varangard. Now, he quests along with other notable characters, some really cool secondary characters like his sister, who's a Dark Oath War Queen. There's a Khorne Slaughter, warrior in there as well, and some other cool sort of secondary characters like some Marauder horsemen and stuff like that. They'll make for a really cool cast of characters. But Vanek definitely is our main character. His whole thing, he is utterly obsessed with trying to become a Varangard. He's, you know, sort of at that point of like learning what it is to be a Chaos Warlord, learning what it is to be a Varangard, and sort of throwing away those bonds maybe that he has with some of his fellow chieftains that follow under his banners. And so what does change with Vanek over the course of this story? And like I said, he learns what it is to be a Varangard. He learns to sort of separate himself a bit from those underneath him. He learns to make the bold decisions that, you know, one in his sort of place in the world, and indeed in his sort of ascension through the pathways of chaos, learns how to act and the decisions he has to make in that position. He really is quite an interesting character that definitely does develop in this last quest and gets those final little fine tunings you feel at the start when you meet him aren't quite there. What does this book do? Well, now this might sound like a negative at the start, but it really is a positive. So, fight scenes are plenty within this book. As you would guess, of any Chaos Champion on a quest to serve the Dark Gods, he's going to be fighting and killing a lot of people along that way. Now, while there are plenty of fight scenes, and they are, you know, pretty frequent within the story, they never feel like they overstay their welcome or that the book is just combat for combat's sake. All the combats serve a purpose. All the combats we hear about are quick, well written, and definitely have that little bit of intrigue. And they're not just, you know, he fought, he slew, move on. They all serve a purpose in pushing all the different moving parts of our storyline forward, which I think is really well done. It's not an easy thing to have, you know, this constant thing and to make fights seem different or serve different purposes within a book so well, and I think it's really well done within this book. And so, who would enjoy this book? Well, of course, if you're a fan of The Slains to Darkness, particularly if, when, you know, we first got that ever-chosen book in Warhammer Age of Sigmar, if that was something that really appealed to you, this is a book for you. Like, I think this really does a good job at showing just how powerful Varangard are, really making them front and center, showing how amazing they are in the narrative. And yeah, if you like Slave to Darkness, this is one for you. If you like a good quest, a good adventure sort of book as well, you could definitely get a good bit of enjoyment out of this. In summary, this moves along quickly. You know, it wasn't the longest audiobook I ever listened to. I think it comes around just under 10 hours in the audio version. It definitely makes sure it fills itself out well and gives you plenty of things to chew on over the course of the story. There's definitely some nice little interesting plots going on within it. If I had any negative to say, like I said, it does definitely make all those fights have a purpose, but it really is almost nothing but fights. So while, you know, really done well, that sort of is what the book is all about, is fighting and then fighting some more. But they all do push the story forward. So I think, you know, a 5 out of 10 for me is, you know, a good, solid, mid-of-the-range book. You know, enjoyable without being outright amazing is probably where I put this one. If you've read this book, let us know what you thought about it down in the comments below. Well, that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And also drop us a comment down below letting us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come and chat more with me and other members of our community here at Cinderful Gaming, you can do so on our Discord server, which is linked down in the video's description. If you'd like to help support the channel more, you can do so either by Patreon or YouTube members, or going to our Teespring store, all of which are linked down in the video's description as well. As a special thank you to our patrons and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out. So, a special Patreon shout out to Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lyle, Aaron Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cader, Derek Bloobs, Benjamin Suarez, and Red Martin. And as thank you to our YouTube members as well, Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Ronya, Loch Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink, Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, and Davis Wire. Special thanks also to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see on the channel, like you can see pictured here on this slide. Thank you once again for watching, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.